I think people should just see people as individuals,
Oh,
even not
100%. Yeah.
right, not
Yeah.
even your nationality. I think nationalities put a really giant tag on each person.
Oh, of course.
Right, you're Chinese, or you're Russian, you're German, you're blah blah. Like once the nationality card played, people are gonna have some prejudice, right? Good or bad.
It's interesting too because I feel like societally right now we're definitely in a place where people are very much being identified by those markers rather than like celebrating us for all being humans. We're putting each other in boxes, um, and saying like these characteristics are associated with this kind of person. These characteristics are associated with this kind of person. And it's like, I don't know, I love your point there about us. We're all individuals. We all have our own hopes and dreams and battles we face. And just because of the
Right,
way that I look, that it has nothing to do with like the way I look has nothing to do with
Yeah.
necessarily my experiences in life.
right,
Just because I'm white and that guy's white, that doesn't mean that like we've experienced the same thing. Yeah.
right,
I mean,
right,
also, if you really think about it, at the end of the day, it's like, other than like the cultural differences and all that stuff, at the end of the day, like we're the same thing. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like we both like movies, we both like the same stuff, we both have goals, we
right.
both like. It's like there's no difference on a very fundamental level.
People are more common than they're different.
Exactly.
Um, and for example, in 2020, the pandemic or the political issues, um, you know, I I would love to put my national flag, like Chinese flag in front of my house, like other people do, right? People put Switzerland flag, Canadian flag, the States flag, some flag. Can I do that? I cannot.
Mm.
In 2020, you just know if the second you put Chinese flag in front of my house, I'll be in trouble. People think, oh, right, political reasons or other stupid reasons. People may throw rock on my house, right? You know, this is our society right now, and that will happen. People are gonna stop there and honk their cars to your house, right? Whenever I think I can feel safe to do that, whenever Ilia, you can feel safe to do that,
Imagine
that's a
Ben
good
being
society.
German. Like, you think
Yeah.
have you ever
See,
seen a German flag
however,
anywhere?
I think German's fine. You know,
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
probably far enough away
A
now
Russian
that
right now is a
yeah.
little
yeah,
questionable,
right?
to say the least.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
It's interesting though because a lot of the time, like you talk about, not wanting to put up a flag of China or a Russian flag, but it's interesting because it's not like the negative things that people associate with that flag are not the country. It's just there's individuals maybe who have represented the countries in the past or are currently representing the countries, um, that maybe maybe they're not such great people, or sometimes they're awful people, but like that's not the country. That's not the people in the country. That's just one person, and it's sometimes hard to disassociate those two because
right.
if you think of Russia right now, most people will just think of Putin. You don't think of the people who live in the middle of nowhere with no electricity, who are just trying to get to the next day. They've got kids like in Siberia, in the middle of the Siberian tundra, and these people are just going about their life on a day-to-day basis. And I bet you if you met them and you were able to communicate in some way, you'd have a lot more in common than you would have different, because we all share the human experience.
Thank you, Ben. After your kind words, me and Ilya are gonna get canceled in China and Russia right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You're welcome.
Oh,
It's
we're
like,
canceled.
yeah.
It all sounds nice until you actually try it.
Yeah, I
We
mean, fair
never go
enough.
back.
Yeah,
Anyway, no, yeah, it's 100%. Even if, let's go one step further. Even if a person's ideologies or beliefs is different than the mainstream North American beliefs, I still think, people can't judge that, right? We're all different.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Even if, you're the supporter of Putin 100%, even if you are like that, I don't think I would treat you differently. That's just what you think, right?
Yeah, and it's just it's just a part
I
of
don't
what you
think
think.
that, but if yes, I don't think like that, but if you think that, that's your own business, right? So
Thank you for supporting my decision, Will.
Oh boy, yeah. Now we're really gonna get canceled.
Now you get canceled. 3 of us get canceled.
So, yeah.
Nice knowing you guys.
No. We're just kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. I love. That's why I like here people are more. Although some weird people made me not want me to put my national flag there, but like when you really talk to people in person level, in human level, I think majority of the people are, understandable. They're very understandable. Also, it's based on where you communicate. I think when people communicate in a massive base, for example, on the internet, people get more stupid than people one-to-one talk to you.
Oh, of course.
Right? Yeah. When people in a group, they're stupid.
And they just kind of, I mean, I've like, for example, so before this year, I've never been a guy who's, I guess, like I never really used Twitter, for example, and I was always like, I don't know, seems dumb. Like I don't want to, why do I want to read like some 40 characters of what someone has to say? And then like I just started following people. I'm a big hockey fan, and the fastest way to get news for hockey is to follow certain people on Twitter. So I started doing that, and then I started following other people who I found interesting and all this kind of stuff. And I find on that app you notice it more than any other app, where it's like one person says one thing, and then all of a sudden it's just an army of other people who are just like hating on that guy, or start to believe the exact same thing just because one person said it. It's like herd mentality, one person believes it, we all believe it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I thought Twitter just for adult content, so it's not.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah, I mean,
are you sure it's hockey?
Yeah. Yeah, let's
It's crazy. Like people are getting so divided. I find like place like Twitter, it's nurturing that like divided things. I don't think it's healthy. I just find also like when you can register 2 Twitter accounts and one see more left wings, one see more right wings, and that's 2 different worlds. If there's 2 individuals looking to this thing, their mind gonna be separate so far, like far away. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well,
I just find people should spend less time on it.
I totally agree. I mean,
you should spend less time.
Well, what I was gonna say is, so the thing that happens with Twitter is you only follow people whose stuff you want to read, right? So if that's the case, and let's say if you're talking about politics, then you're only gonna follow the people who support your political position, right? Like people don't like to challenge their own ideas. They don't like to think that they could be wrong about something. And we all, I mean, that's just part of the human experience. I mean, where to acknowledge that you might be wrong about something, I feel like is in some way to go against your biological urge. Like you just want to be the one who's right. So you put yourself in this echo chamber of people who all think the exact same way as you do. So then what happens is when there's people who think differently than you, then it becomes, like you said, you just become so divided because that group of people is only listening to what that group of people wants, and you're only listening to what your group of people wants, and then there's no way to like come together and have a conversation.
I did not know adult content was this divided on Twitter.
Oh, let me tell you, man, it's very divided.